All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Super Speedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. So if you haven't had enough Daytona this week, we got just a little more for you before this. We start to switch over to some new tracks next week. Obviously, a lot of Daytona action in real life and in iRacing with the iRacing NIS 500 Open and Fixed Series. I think they got one more event that they've got going on tonight here as well. And then, of course, the big one with the real stuff with that Daytona 500 concluding a few hours ago. No worries, no spoilers there from me. We definitely won't, in case anybody's still trying to catch up on that one. So I know one of my friends, Chad, likes to put that one on his VCR. So Chad, won't spoil it for you, so I know you definitely want to catch that one. However, for tonight, as always, 75 laps is our scheduled race distance. But again, I say there's always that potential up to 3 attempts of a green-white checkered here at Area 51. And then also one fast repair for these drivers should they need it in case they get involved in an incident. And with that, we're going to pull up our standings going into tonight's event. And this is going to start race number 6 here. So right now, Sebastian Marin, our points leader. And then right next to him, you see you got Todd Siebels right there in second, Vicente Guerrero third, Peter DeBorgia a big jump up there into that 4th position, Quabi Brooks in 5th. And then we got Donald Stewart, Dustin Lamb, and Joseph Morales right now our top 8. So again, if the playoffs were to start tonight, those would be our top 8 drivers to be in that final 4 races for the championship. But you got some drivers on the outside looking in like Brian Grimm, Michael Pegg, Jack Walls, Jay Hilliard, Robert Rock, and Dean Wilkinson, JD Crow in the closest positions to try to make something happen there. So right now, drivers putting down their qualifying laps. So we'll see where everybody comes in here tonight. But yeah, so say still lots to play for these guys here though this evening. And with that, gotta bring in my partner in crime who did his own racing at Daytona. I think you fared a little better than me in your second go around there, and that's gonna be Matt Wagner. So Matt, I know you got to kind of get your feet wet back in the trucks on Thursday, and then of course getting some next gen time in the NIS race there. And I say if I heard rumors correctly,
sorry about that, brother.
top five, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I lost connection for a minute there. Yeah, my second go around with Daytona was pretty good. I'm happy with the top 5, but that side draft and those cars, the next gen cars, are pretty brutal. I'm happy to say that the best time I had all week was actually the Xfinity cars, and great setup iRacing put out, and I raced there a couple times. I would like to get a win, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, you always want to try to get a win at the special events, but they're just so hard to come by. So, but yeah, I mean, just an awesome job. And so actually, we do have a couple NIS winners in the field here tonight. Not a surprise on a couple of them. One of those being the number 8 of Dude Conrad. We'll kind of spotlight him at some point tonight, as well as that 26 of Peter DeBorgia. Both those guys getting some NIS wins, so definitely congrats to them. And then yeah, I mean that's a long, tough race, and unfortunately a lot of stuff out of your control. So hats off to those guys to make it happen. And we got some fans here tonight. New name, new face to the league, and that's going to be the number 20 machine of Derrick Walker. It sounds like the nickname of Jalopy, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that Jalopy here tonight in that number 20 machine. I saw a little bit on track during practice, a really good looking paint scheme, so it's going to be fun to keep an eye on Derrick here tonight as well.
Yeah, I actually had a little conversation, just a slight little conversation with him. He's a pretty cool dude. Let's see what he can do here in Area 51.
And that's the thing is, I mean, at this point, expectations for a lot of these drivers, I mean, you almost have really high expectations for a lot of these newcomers because we've seen some guys hop in and they just kind of set the world ablaze right off the bat. So we'll see what these guys have for time. But what we do have tonight, though, is a very full field here tonight, Matt. I think in the 40s it looks like. So it's going to be a very packed house tonight. 2 pit stops should be the fuel window tonight. These Xfinity cars getting a little better mileage in those trucks, usually about 26, 27, maybe even 28 if they can really stretch it. Again, with a scheduled 75-lap race, that should put those guys in a 2-stop window. But as we talked about, Matt, a lot of times we get those late yellows that throw a big wrench into these things, which could bring us into that potential of a green-white checkered finish, which could then throw all your best laid plans of fuel mileage right out the window.
I am not a fan of the green-white checker situation. It could favor somebody, and then again, it could not. And doesn't really favor the guy who's pretty much dominated the whole race. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out. Before we get things going, though, we got to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position, it's going to be the number 23 of Sebastian Marin. No big surprises there. That guy is a monster in qualifying. About 300s over Vicente Guerrero. Then got Peter DeBorgia. We mentioned one of those NIS winners there in the third position. You got Mark Brown, hasn't been here for a little while. Great to see Mark back on track. And you got Everett Lane, Cody Nagels back on track. Jack Walls, Zachary Lima back to help out. Probably Sebastian Marin. That's probably one of his best helpers here tonight. And then you've got Robert Dupont, Derrick Walker, we mentioned again, new to the series, starts it off with the top 10 qualifying. You got Bud Steele in 11th, Charles Johnson in 12th. Continue on, you got Keith Horner, Quabi Brooks, Donald Stewart, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad, we mentioned it again, one of the NIS winners. Then you got Brian Grimm, William George, Alberto Lopez, Michael Spell. Really good to see Todd Merkel in that number 2 machine back. He's been out, I think, overseas, if I'm not mistaken, so definitely glad to have you back here tonight, Todd. Then you got Noel Coers, Jay Hilliard. But we still got more to go. Kevin LaChance, Mark Mastraya, Matt Wagner. You're not racing. I'm sorry, buddy. You're stuck with me. TJ Allen, though. Joseph Morales, BK Anderson, Robert Rock, Jim Brooks, Robert Felzine, Bob Fitzgerald, Chummy Miller, Dan Harrington. And we got finally to our last section of the grid here with James Hickson, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Christopher Trevette, and Ryan Kelly in the 41st position.
We got a packed house here tonight. Guys, just really anxious to. I wish I was kind of out there tonight, but not tonight. I feel totally safer in the booth.
He might be a little Daytona'd out as well, but the one thing I think the big story is going to be, Matt, though, if we do get those green flag pit stops, are going to be the drivers starting towards the back of the field here, including that 55 of Dean Wilkinson. So he's going to be one of those ones I'm going to be keeping an eye on tonight because that early pit stop makes things very treacherous to make sure you get to your pit in time.
Well, I'm going to try something new here. I got 3 drivers I'm pretty much going to watch all race long. I'm going to be watching the 83 of Jack Walls. I think he's 11th in points at this time. Looking for him and his teammates to help push him and get him in that playoff picture coming up. And also I'll be looking at Charles Johnson to rebound from last week up there, and he's starting in 12th position.
Yeah, definitely going to be some guys to keep an eye on. A little surprise is if I see the 071 Eric Laurie actually opting to start from the pits here tonight. We've seen it before, but usually with a bunch of friends. But tonight it looks like he's kind of on his own here back there. Also not seeing Ryan Kelly, BK Anderson, Dude Conrad on the grid here as well. So right now it actually leaves us 36, 37 drivers that have gridded. So we'll see if we get those final couple drivers to get us up to that 40 number. But right now it looks like 37 are on grid here, ready to try to take part in this race here. Again, 75 laps will be our race distance tonight.
I wonder if this, yep, there they go. They're starting to grid right now. Dude Conrad just gridded.
Yes, that dude tops in. So that'll be a good break for Eric here. That'll allow him to have some drafting help. We'll see if BK does the same or not. Right now, that's going to put us now up to 38 drivers taking part in the green. But as I say, though, here comes the pace car, going to duck off onto pit road. It's going to hand it over to our front row. And again, the initial start goes on green. From then on, drivers have control of that restart. However, green flag is out, and we are underway again. 75 laps, our scheduled race distance, as Sebastian Marin leads the field here to turn number 1.
Looks like BK Anderson's been having a little bit of issues, technical issues. That's unfortunate. Hopefully he can get back on track and hopefully catch a caution, get some laps back.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye. But say Dude and Eric have gotten back out on track here together. And so I'll say as they head into down the backstretch for the first time, you can see everybody's pretty well strung out here a little bit, all 2x2 here. And I'm saying Daytona, again, its own animal, so I don't think we'll see a lot of 3-wide, especially early on in this one. And so you can even see the flames up the throttle there. A lot of drivers kind of rolling out the gas there, just try to get themselves in a safe position to kick things off here. But looking like safely, at the moment here, it looks like Sebastian Marin going to lead lap number 1 without too much trouble. As I saw the opportunity there, Peter DeBorgia, he took that jump. He's going to pop to the outside line here in front of Vicente Guerrero, and he's going to try to see if he can lead the outside line, maybe grab a lap lead for him as well in that 26 machine. And that puts now the 24 of Everett Lane right behind that 23R pole sitter. And then Jack Walls, that car in that third row on the inside line. Then Robert DuPont starting to creep his way in, Quabi Brooks as well. So say again, the inside line moving pretty decently here early on at this rate of the race. A lot of times you'll see that middle, the outside line do most of the damage, but you see though, it looks like Sebastian going to hold tight here and grab lap number 2 as well. So it looks like Peter's going to have to try to fight one more time to see if he can get that bonus point.
I got my eye on one driver who's probably going to start the third line. That would be the number 9 of Charles Johnson. And he does have his teammate of the 40 car right behind him, of Brian Graham. But mostly Brian and them, they're just usually chill, for the first about 45, 50 laps. But we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, saying you're right though. Charles definitely not one to hesitate from going to that outside line to make the third lane happen. I say if it was Talladega, I think we would have seen him up there already. But say again, Daytona kind of its own little animal, a little bit narrower, just makes it that much trickier to try to make that third line happen. So I think we'll see it for sure. The question is going to be when we see it. But yeah, I think you're right though, Matt. I think these guys aren't quite there yet. But as I give it closer, I think to about pit stop time, that's probably when we'll see these guys really start to kind of stick up the aggression and try to make some moves happen on that third lane. But I think what we're going to see right now, though, is just a lot of strategy, especially from those guys kind of mid-pack back. I think just saving fuel right now and saying, we talk about some of those drivers that are in that cruising spot. Again, I kind of talk about this week after week, but you always look for that car who's that first one right after that 2x2 battle. And right now it's sitting at the 51 of Jim Brooks, who's, again, kind of in my little pocket that I love to be in, kind of right at the back of that 2x2 battles here with that 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington right behind him. So that's kind of my little safe place to be if I get the opportunity to be. Also lets you save a lot of fuel as well.
And for a moment there, that outside line was starting to kick back up because that bottom line just got a little bit disorganized there, but that top lane is really starting to roll now, coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, and while we were looking at that, Everett Lane had found his way from the second car in the inside lane to get to the front there. So I say apologies for missing that, but a great move, obviously, though, by that 24 to get up front. So now he's going to be the one trying to battle to get those bonus points in that number 24. But again, that 26, though, Peter DeBorgia is in a pretty good spot here. Looks like he's got some momentum here out of turn number 4. We'll see if he can win that drag race to the line. He does, so that will give Peter a lap lead there in that number 26 machine here. And so another thing we mentioned starting from the pits, the 8 of Dude Conrad, the 071 Eric Laurie. Mm-hmm. Honestly, lap time's not too bad for these two right now. 47.93 compared to a 47.41 for the leaders. So even with just the two of them, they're only a half a second off the pace of that lead pack. So I gotta say hats off to those two, because usually if you're running just a two-car draft, you definitely aren't running those kind of lap times. So Eric and Dude here running very, very competitive lap times with one another to just, again, try to minimize the damage starting from the pits there. I think, again, obviously what they need here is a yellow to get themselves back in contention. But right now, like I said, I mean, just limiting the damage, I think that's job number 1 for them, is to just try to stay on this lead lap as long as possible. And I'm saying just hope for a little bit of luck to go your way, which is, of course, we talked about one of the big things that these races kind of have to, you always have to have a little bit of luck to get one of these wins here, despite your best laid plans.
I'm going to say that was a big push by the 14 Vicente Guerrero going down the backstretch. Hopefully get the my good buddy, the 26 car. We had a little practice pushing in during the practice here at Daytona. Pushed me a couple little times there. That wrecked me.
Yeah, well, and that's what practice is for. That you try to find those limits. Let's say it's a lot nicer in iRacing. You can do that stuff and get away with it, whereas in the real world, it's a very expensive bill. But we're gonna jump back here because I say we had again some new names, new faces to the league, and saying very dedicated fan group to that number 20 of Derrick Walker. Right now sitting just outside the top 10 here in the 11th spot, right there working that outside line, and you can see that jalopy paint scheme on the side of that car, the sponsorship on it. So it's always cool to see these guys kind of maybe even repping their own brands there. Say I'm guessing probably their Twitch channel name, something like that. So always cool to see some new names, new faces to the league, and say it's always fun too when you got really good paint schemes like that number 20 has. Really like the chrome on that door number.
Yeah, this league here, guys, I'm telling you, this league is growing by the week, and I'm just truly honored and proud to see this league grow each and every single week.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to see what it's gone from and gone to. And I believe there's a few other new names, new faces out there. So I'm trying to remember all of the ones that there were. We did have a number change, which is TJ Allen now running that 925 paint scheme. So you can see on the side of that car some sponsorship 925. So really like the kind of the play on words there with the numberology, if you will, as well. So definitely say these guys again just really neat ideas that they can pull off. And right now he's just sitting just outside the top 20. However, has gained 5 positions. Still just kind of sitting in that little pocket here as these guys are 2x2. I believe a teammate, William George, sitting there right in front of him in that 09. And I believe there's the other. I knew there was one other guy new to the league. And actually, unfortunately, he's lost the main draft here. He's got some help behind him. That's that number 94 here of Christopher Trevette. Right now running about 5 seconds, it looks like, off the lead pack. Does have a couple drivers helping him behind there. The 04 Chummy Hiller, the 12 of James Hickson. And depending on what their pace is, might even get some help here a little later with Dude and Eric. Maybe get some more lap times out of those. Maybe turn it into a 5-car draft. So unfortunate for those guys, but again, still very early on here, though. Another group, though, we're looking here back, though, that are going to have to be careful, Matt. Todd Siebels and company, they've dropped a little bit over a second off that group in front from Dan Harrington. So these TW guys need to try to get locked onto each other and I think start to get a little more aggressive. So right now it looks like about 1.3 seconds between that 82 and that 45.
Yeah, it's good to see Todd back here in Area 51. It's been a while. Really cool dude. Fantastic racer. I haven't even been there when he won a race, which I'm actually jealous of, but it is what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, Todd, Todd, it's been definitely working well together over the course of the season. So I'll say I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the intervals between themselves and that 82 of Dan Harrington. It looks like they've closed it just a tiny bit, 1.27 now. So, I mean, again, it was at 1.3, so they still need a little bit more margin, but I'll say it's getting a little touch and go here up front. These guys starting to move around side to side a little bit. Just approaching the halfway point of their fuel window. So I'll say fuel not really a concern for these guys as of yet, but at some point that thought's going to start sinking in. But some of the drivers, though, I mean, pretty much, you look at this inside row, look at all these guys that are in a great spot to save a lot of fuel. Jack Wall's right there. We know he's one of the premier fuel savers. You got Robert DuPont right there. Quavi Brooks is in that mix as well. The 6 of Bud Steele. You got the 37 of Keith Horner on the inside lane as well. And I think who else is down there? It's I think that's Donald Stewart in the 78. And then you got so you can't go wrong here with the number 10 Johnny Benson Valvoline paint scheme for Alberto Lopez. So definitely a fan of that one. It's a good looking paint scheme there. And then you got the car, it really pops nicely at the night here. That 88 of Michael Spell with that Taco Bell paint scheme. So that blue and purple just really, I think, just pops even more here at nighttime tonight at Daytona.
Yeah, there's a lot of pretty good paint schemes out here tonight. Yeah, like I said, I like that number 6 car of Bud Steele. Big fan.
Of the paint scheme or the product?
Both.
Yeah, I know. I've been able to tease Bud a few times to say he's been able to bring that Bellhaven paint scheme to the front before, and jokingly mentioned about him, being able to celebrate, enjoying that sponsor as well. But yeah, you're right though. Right now in a good position. You see that 40 there. Brian Grimm saw an opportunity to drop to the bottom. He's going to waste no time to grab that spot. Because I think these guys, you look at this, they're starting to think about it now. You see Charles Johnson, the next one to drop down low. I think these guys are starting to think about that pit stop window. Again, still really early on in the going for that to really come into play here. Unless, that's the big question mark, unless these guys have maybe an alternate strategy. But I still think probably 25 or so is probably the earliest these guys want to hit pit road. Because you always want to have that little bit of a buffer just in case of that green-white checkered. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that up front. But that gap we're talking about, that second pack to this lead pack, it's actually Joseph Morales leading that pack now, and they are closing that gap. It's down to about 3/4 of a second, so they're doing a good job to kind of get back up into the thick of this thing and regain that lead pack. But the one downside is they're going to lose a little bit of fuel having to hustle those cars to re-catch that pack, though.
Yeah, I was looking to see where the 94 was at compared to the leaders.
We got some updates for why we don't have the BK Anderson here tonight, unfortunately. VR issues for him. So, Matt, you can definitely console him on that one and say you've been there, done that. So,
yes, sir. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that, BK. But hopefully you can get those issues squared away and get you back out here on track again soon. Always a pleasure to have you in these races. It's always a lot of fun to watch you do what you do best with these guys. One of the better pushers in the league as well. So, but right now, though, Sebastian Marin, he's found his way back to the point here. Once again, a little bit of help. Oh, it was a little bobble there off of 4 from that 26 car. Able to gather it back up, but not sure if that's maybe just a little bit of a push gone wrong there, or if that car just got loose on exit. Not something I would have expected to see, though, those guys. So something we'll have to keep an eye on as these tires and the fuel continue to wear off, to maybe see if these guys start to get a little sketchy, because they are starting to move a lot more right now.
Yeah, as the fuel starts continuing to burn off, the car just gets a little bit back end happy, but it's fine. It's able to control it, but just a little twitch of the steering wheel, and you'll be fine. The setup is really good.
And so you can see the back of the field here as they go through 3 and 4, really starting to spread out from about Bob Fitzgerald, it looks like, on back. So again, something we'll definitely be keeping an eye out on. It looks like they all are still safely in that lead pack, about 33 cars strong. We mentioned, unfortunately, those 3 that lost the main draft a little earlier, the 94, the 04, and the 12, and then, of course, the 071 and the 8 starting from pit lane. But again, the pit window not too far away here, but yeah, I'm just looking a little further back, though, because right now kind of Jim Brooks has actually turned into the last car in this lead pack there in that 51 machine. And then from Bob Fitzgerald on back, these guys are, again, having to try to hustle back up a little bit to get back to these guys. So these guys have to be careful. Looks like they're going to have no problem doing so. But again, just that kind of dropping back and having to pick it back up again is always a bit of a concern for me, to kind of have to regain that lost time, especially when you get this close to the pit stop window.
Yeah, we are expecting that window to close here probably in the next 7 laps.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, the window probably opening in about 5, and yeah, probably closing in about 7 or 8. And then it's really just kind of the guessing game of who's going to try to go how far. I mean, I think there's no question that Sebastian Marin, Everett Layton, Peter DeBorgia, they're going to be the first to hit pit road, because they've pretty much been up front controlling this race, burning the most fuel. And of course, those guys in the outside line still, let's say, saving a little bit of fuel while running the outside lane, but of course they're running the longer distance, so that's going to burn a little more fuel. But then I look at those guys, like I said, Robert DuPont, Claudia Brooks, Jack Walls. Again, Jack likes to run these things long if he gets the opportunity to, and again, he's also really good at the pit stops cycles as well, getting in and out of pit road. So that could, again, make that final pit stop maybe a little bit shorter, could work out in his advantage. Of course, this all pending things staying green throughout the conclusion.
I know Jack likes to try to push the fuel as long as he can, but being in the point situation that he's in, I look forward to Jack trying to pit and stay with the leaders as closely as possible.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of what that game plan will be for Jack, but right now it's Peter DeBorgia that's found his way back to the front here in front of Sebastian Marin. And so I believe teamwork with these two is, I believe they are part of that same Discord channel, so I think it's definitely some communications going on with them here. As you see, here comes that 14 now, Vicente Guerrero. He's kind of been the pusher, hasn't been a chance to be able to be the one to lead that outside line, as now he's starting to get some help from that 73 of Mark Brown.
Yeah, Mark. Oh, we got a contact.
Oh, big hit there. Yep, there they go.
Mark Brown, right back.
Yeah, a little bit of net coat, and then from there, just it went all it went all around, and you can see this is definitely a huge one here. And this is going to be a big blessing in disguise for those that fell off that lead pack, because they're going to be able to, you can see right there, the 60 Giant kind of just coming to a stop there. But we are going to have a lot of fast repairs here, Matt, because there were a lot of cars taking some really solid hits there. I can see a couple out right off the bat here. I believe the 20...
Derrick Walker.
Yeah, that whole front clip is missing there for his machine.
Cody Nagels, he's destroyed. The 10 car of Alberto Lopez, he's destroyed. Oh, man, it's just a couple of really great race cars. And, Michael Spell, he's got really damage on the rear. But it's not that bad. You got to let Greg race card here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cars involved. Looks like a couple had to take tows, unfortunately, including Vicente and Robert DuPont. We'll go back and take looks. We're watching on board there off the back, and unfortunately, just looked like a netcode situation from where I was sitting. So let me go hunt it down here. We can pull it up and take one more look at it. But yeah, definitely a tough break there for Vicente and those involved. So we'll watch here through turn number 3. Watching that number 14 car. And you can see right here, there's still room. It's just net code between the 14 and the 24. And you can see he almost has it saved, but unfortunately, just that loss of momentum puts him right into the path of the 73. And then at that point, these guys are just all along for the ride. There's Robert DuPont, Cody Nagels involved. Looks like 27 may have got a small piece of it as well. And then you see here comes just, again, the rest of the field. There's just nowhere to go at this point. And so these guys are just, like I said, just completely along for the ride, as those 7 by far takes a wild ride there up and over multiple times here. And then you'll see, of course, all these guys just trying to find anywhere to go to avoid the contact. I say Mark Brown almost goes up and over in that 73 as well. So, yeah, just a tough situation for a lot of these guys here tonight. They say this is the group behind us. Like I said, they were far enough off the back. You see they're already woed down here out of turn 4. Because that's what they see in turn number 1. So, yeah, that's a tough break for a lot of these guys. We'll jump back live here, though, because we've got some strategy going on for pit stops, as I believe Kevin LaChance may have just actually driven through the pits there. So, this does allow him to be able to go ahead and pit that next time around. Looks like Jack Walsall going to win the race off of pit road. And then, Matt, we'll keep a close eye on the drivers on the longer side of the pit stops to see about damage repairs. Because one of those is that 6 of Bud Steele. Not sure if he had to take a tow or not, but you can see the same thing, front and rear clips missing on that car. I believe maybe actually had to take a tow there. But yeah, right now it looks like everybody trying to get services and back out on track here.
Yeah, the 2-0 Todd Merkel, his car is completely destroyed. Not what I wanted to see in his debut back.
Yeah, so it's a tough break for Todd. So you can see here's a 53 car, about over a minute sitting in pit road getting damage repairs. Donald Stewart, same boat for him. William George, Alberto Lopez. So these guys are all opting to go ahead and get damage repairs done manually. TJ Allen as well, he's just now rolling out. So these guys are going to try to save that fast repair, Matt. And again, I think that's a really good call, because again, it's still a very, very big field here. And I mean, with the field this big, there's still a chance for another one or two. So they got to put themselves in a safe spot. And the other thing that's going to be very interesting, Matt, here, this caution came out right at the outer edge of that fuel window. So these guys, I believe, are going to be okay to still go on one more stop, but it's going to be very tight. And I do think we're going to see a lot of drivers go ahead and top off here to get that little bit of extra fuel. Because I think every ounce of fuel is going to count for these cars here tonight.
Yeah, that 14 car took a hell of a ride. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the 14 and the 07, they definitely got their money's worth of airtime there, unfortunately. Looks like they are both back out on track. Let's say the question is going to be whether or not they're 1 or 2 laps down here. The 07 of Robert DuPont we mentioned, and as well the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. So you can see they're trying to figure out where they need to merge back on with the rest of the field. So you just watch the timing scoring over on the left-hand side here. You'll be able to see them as the ticker updates. I believe they are 2 laps down at the moment. We'll double check that, of course, as well on our side. But yeah, right now, yeah, it looks like 2 down for Robert DuPont, Vicente Guerrero, and Bud Steele. So that's going to be a battle in itself there, Matt, for those guys to try to be that first one 2 down, because that could turn into them being the one to get the next one as well if we get more than 1 yellow.
Wow. Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Well, who is in the lead right now? It's Jack
Mr.
Walls.
Jack Walls up front. As again, he won the race off pit road. A very quick stop for him there. I think maybe fuel only. As Sebastian Mayer and Peter DeBorgia a little longer on pit road. And again, here's the restart where he has control at this point. You can see it goes a little earlier there. And so this is, again, risk versus reward, because it's nice to kind of get that sneak out, break away a little bit, but then you kind of risk those guys getting that big run on you off of the, kind of through the turns and off of 2. But right now, looks like Sebastian going to stay content to ride behind that 83. And again, there's going to be a lot of strategy involved here on fuel savings and such, but as I say that, there goes Sebastian.
They're gaming up on poor Jack here.
Yeah, so there has the Discord group there. Yeah, all ganging up on Jack there. You saw there the Zachary Lima tried to tag on there, couldn't quite get it done, but those two are the 23 and the 26 are going to clear though Jack Walls. And that's going to put the 24 and the 37 to lead that outside lane here. Also mentioned long damage repairs. Looks like one driver lost the draft in that restart, being the 53. And also got an unscheduled stop here for Bob Fitzgerald. Not sure if this may be a pit penalty or not for that 08, unfortunately. So we'll keep an eye on him and see how he cycles back out. But unfortunately, a bad break for Bob as well. As right now, it looks like the lead pack here actually, here comes the 40 of Brian Grimm just coming out of pit road now himself. So say some of these drivers, again, the damage just really kind of hurting them as he's going to try to find a safe place to merge here. But right now, it looks like, again, Brian actually also now in that 2 down category is a little bobbler, but 27 Zachary Lima able to gather back up there.
Yeah, Brian is way down on speed right now. I would have elected to take the fast repair there.
So right now looks like the lead pack all pretty much together here. Robert Rock right now the last of those in that pack. However, everybody's within touching distance right now, about less than a second basically between each group of cars here. Michael Spell's in a bit of a tight spot there in the 88. Looks like he's trying to push that number 51 of Jim Brooks back up into the mix. As you saw the modified there, Bud Steele rolling out of pit road here. I mean, that thing is missing everything, unfortunately. But surprised to see Bud, again, like you mentioned, Matt, not using the fast repair there. But he's going to roll back out here, maybe get a lap, and then maybe jump back in. We'll see. But yeah.
Oh, he just blew the motor.
Oh, so he's going to have to try to limp that thing back to pit road there. I was saying that sometimes if that car blows up and in an opportune spot, they might throw yellows for that as well with iRacing. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But right now, though, it's still Sebastian Marin leading the way. And so you've got some teammates now lined up behind him with that 26 and 27. So I don't think we're going to see these two kind of jump off that yellow line here at this point. And it looks like Bud Steele's going to make it safely to pit road.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. We're not taking a fast repair there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So,
but meanwhile, back at the front, find Jack Wells up in the top lane, going for the lead.
Yep, Jack's going back after, and we talked about some of those guys starting from the pits. Dude, Conrad, Eric Laurie, they're right into the thick of this thing now. Dude, up into that top 10 in that number 8 machine. Jack Wells just outside of it here as they run, sitting in 11th spot in that 071. And then I'll say again with that battle, there goes Bud, nice brand new shiny number 6 machine as he heads back out on track. And then also another one of our higher climbers tonight, Noel Coers in that 15 machine, up 15 spots into the 8th position as they currently run. So yeah, right now I'll say kind of those ebbs and flows kind of allowed a lot of these drivers kind of a recovery lifeline, if you will. The 94 Christopher Trevette, also same thing for him, 26 positions gained now, sitting in the 14th position.
Look who's in 10th spot there, guy out, Dude Conrad. not a surprise.
Yeah, I got the yellow. He needed to get back out into the mix. There's, again, a little bobble towards the front there. But yeah, so they just needed that break, and except for he and Eric Laurie, now they're right back into the thick of it. You see Derrick Walker, fast repair be damned, to say he's going to go ahead and get back after it here. He's not going to just ride. He wants to still go out and race this thing. So he's sitting right now just outside that top 10 as well. As right now saying, but actually, do need to mention that that pack has split up here now, Matt. We talked about those guys all being within the window, but now if you look back here, it's Kevin LaChance actually the last one in this lead pack. Then you got to go back a couple seconds to that 92 car of Robert Felsian. So he is off on his own about 2 seconds back, and then you got Alberto Lopez leading the second pack here, and that was the concern about dropping off the back there of that pack. And so now you got two solid packs here with about 17 cars in that first pack, and it looks like about another 10-15 in this pack here. So I think we
got a wreck.
Oh, yeah, I see up front there the 04. I think that was Chummy Miller around.
No caution. Caution.
Yeah, we stayed green here, so unfortunately for Chummy, he's going to have to try to grab a gear and get going again. That's a huge hurt for that 04 car. Let's go back and see what happened while we stay under green here. You see Chummy, and it looks like, yeah, a little stack up there, the 19, the 94 contact between them, and that sends the 94 into the side of the 04. Nothing that Chummy can do there. And actually, somehow that pointed the 94 back straight there. And so I think that's a big reason why we stayed green. But yeah.
Oh, we got a car on the wall. Hold on to it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, he saves it.
That's the 24 Everett Lane there. And yeah, definitely some significant right side damage.
Yeah, yep. I was going to say Jack and Everett were up in the third lane up top, and Jack was just left by himself. Luckily, he was able to tuck in.
Say, well, we'll pick that back up here. Take a look at the 24 Everett Lane here. But you're right, though. They're starting to try to work that third line. You see a little bobble on the inside as they come out of turn number 4. Yeah. Oh, just a little bit of contact between Keith Horner and Everett Lane. That bumped Everett up into that outside wall. So we'll jump back live here once again because let's say we've had a couple of near incidents, but without a caution. But we continue to stay green here as now they've gotten back to double.
Whoa, that was Keith Horner. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, big wobble there off of 4. Able to keep it straight, though. But, yeah, just about right hooked that 06 of Cody Nagels. So, yeah, it's I'll say we're not even quite halfway here, Matt, but these guys are definitely ramping things up a little bit more and more up front. Again, the other problem, though, is that second pack behind them, their lap times are falling off by over a second off these leaders, so they're definitely in a hurt right now for the lap time to the front.
Yeah, I was just checking on the second pack. They are getting destroyed by the lead pack.
But again, you never know how it's going to turn out. Say it might be one of those things where being further back might be a blessing in disguise, just depending on where they are. As see, here comes the lead pack, going to put that 53.
Oh, we got turned. The 2 car just got turned.
Oh, we got a big wreck in that second pack as those leaders are just lapping Bobby Brooks. And yeah, you can see we've got numerous cars involved in that second pack. And that's the concern there of that second pack pushing too hard. And that we'll see if that's exactly what happened or not. But it looks like Jay Hilliard involved. I saw one other involved there as well. But
yep, you're exactly right there, Kyle. 2 car was just a little bit out of shape, and Charles got in the back of the 2. So it's a little bit of an oops there, probably between both drivers. But
oh yeah, just
it's super speedway racing.
Yeah, we'll get it back up a little bit, get a better angle of it here as they enter 3. And I think this is just them not getting aligned. To say, like you said, Charles turning down, maybe expecting Todd Merkel to turn a little bit earlier, then just gets into that left rear of that 2 car. At that point, there's just nothing he can do. That puts him into that 12 machine, and then from there, it's everybody just to try to hang on to it. Todd actually just about has that saved, but then the additional contact, there's just nothing you can do. And so you see Michael Spell getting a piece of that as well. And then yeah, pretty much behind them, it's again another unfortunate, a bit of a pretty big stack up there in the back.
I think that way in Michael Spell's night because he used his fast repair the last time around.
Yeah, if he had to use the fast repair, that's going to be a tough spot for he to be in. But it looks like as a whole, these guys did a pretty good job of minimizing as bad as it could have been. It looks like the other driver involved there, you can see just coming up there, I think that's Kevin LaChance in the 95, if I'm not mistaken. So you're trying to find him here in my timing and scoring. Or no, he's in the 19, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so my timing and scoring is updating too fast. So we'll jump back live here, though, unfortunately. So yeah, so again, some more damages for these guys. We'll jump back live though here because we do have some pit stops going on. Sebastian Marin just completed his service, so now this is a pretty safe spot for these guys. Now they can easily make it a one more stop here. It's right now we're at 41 to go here. So yeah, they should be easily able to make it a one more stop here, even with that green-white checkers. I think if they play it smart, they should be fine here. But surprisingly, and honestly a little concerning, Joseph Morales in that 60 car stays out here, Matt. And I'm not sure if that was just by a miscue or what, but a little nervous about that 60 machine staying out here.
Yeah, he had the same thing last week, if I remember correctly. It really didn't work out, but he was probably banking on the caution. That's track position for me is key, because it's hard for me to make up positions here in these guys. And excuse me, I'm here in the iRacing chat. I better mute them. So basically, for me, it's hard to make up positions here in the Xfinity cars. I'm not that very good of a pusher. For me, I can make up spots during doing pit stops. That's just me in general.
Yeah, and I think the timing of that yellow is perfection for the 53 of Quabi Brooks. I believe that puts him back on the lead lap as well. So that's going to give him a chance to go back after it. So I believe that's going to leave us about, I think, 28 drivers on the lead lap. Say Michael Spell back out on track, but yeah, I think your question's answered there, Matt. That hood missing on the 88 machine. So unfortunately, I think that fast repair is done and gone, unfortunately for him. So losing a little bit of Taco Bell sponsorship on the hood of that car, not of his own doing, unfortunately though.
Yeah, tough break. Like I said, it's racing. It's super speedway racing in a nutshell. And now, me and you have been racing it all weekend, so it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're going to restart this thing, Matt, starting at lap number 37. So right outside the halfway point of this race here. I say field on the backstretch right now. So it's going to be Joseph Morales leading, but again, did not pit. So he's going to be about 12 laps shorter of fuel than all of those guys around him. So I think he's still in the window where he could maybe stretch it on one more stop. But again, he's going to have to pit significantly earlier than the rest of the field. So I think it's one of those risk versus rewards that I'm not feeling the most confident about, unfortunately, for Joseph. But again, I mean, you never know the timing of these yellows. I mean, it could wind up playing out perfectly for him. So we'll keep an eye on that right now. But it's going to be that front row will be the 60 and the 23, then the 26, 27, and then you got Cody Nagels, Jack Walls in row number 3, Keith Horner, Noel Coors in row 4, and then Eric Laurie and Dude Conrad in row number 5, completing our top 10.
I got a prediction here. I really think Sebastian Marin's going to take the lead.
That's a very bold prediction there, Matt. As we get back to green here, as the 60 is going to get through the gears. But yeah, that's it. Now it's kind of the drag race and the race to try to get the push that you need. And right now, I think your prediction's coming true. The 23 noses ahead here through 1 and 2. Not enough to clear yet. As here comes the 94 rolling off of the pits. Unfortunately, going to put him a lap or more down there. But now we'll see what they can do out of turn number 2. And this is where the second lane starts to really get that momentum built up on that outside line.
Yeah, because Zachary Lima. Nope. Wow, I'm really surprised that happened there.
Yeah, so he's able to clear that 60. He drops straight to the inside, let Zachary lead the outside line. But you can see there's a lot of movement once again here, and after an incident like that, you'd think drivers would settle in a little bit, but these guys continuing to be aggressive here as Bob Fitzgerald hitting pit road unscheduled, unfortunately, for that 08 as well, as now that 27 and the 83 clear, and a big move there by Jack, able to actually get underneath that 27, and he's going to take the point here as they head back into turn number 1 and 2.
What a move by Jack Walls. Whenever there's an opening, you got to take it, especially in this league.
It's right now. You see everybody trying to jockey for position, try to get back into the lead pack. But again, we have separation. This time around, Todd Siebels, Quabi Brooks, Robert Rock. They've lost that main draft, unfortunately, about a second and a half off of Robert Felsian. So it looks like about 23 drivers in this main lead pack here who are currently on the lead lap as we run here. As we just crossed the halfway point here, man. But man,
they're getting up on Jack again.
But man, right now these guys are moving around a lot and saying honestly, making me a little bit nervous. But yeah, no surprise there to see the 23-27 work together there. I mean, let's say those two are very, very good and familiar teammates with one another. So yeah, they're able to hook up and get around. And now that finally opens up an opportunity for that outside line of Cody Nagels, I believe it is, leading that second group on the outside. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Actually, no, that's Noel Coers. I apologize. In the 15, in front of Jude Conrad here now, who's worked his way up now, finding himself into the top 5.
Here's somebody we haven't seen at the front all day. Alberto Lopez and that beautiful number 10 paint scheme.
Yeah, it's Alberto working his way up as well. I believe Alberto also involved in those earlier incidents, so I believe had to use the fast repair. And then also Charles Johnson is saying, unfortunately, involved in that previous incident, but recovering nicely here as Field coming up on that. Unfortunately, also involved in that incident between those two drivers right there, the 9 and the 2, as they're going to try to swing by that outside, and I should say swing by the inside of Todd Merkel. He's just going to run up by the wall here. And saying the hope for Todd here is if he can just pick up enough draft here to try to tag onto the back of these guys. But the damage to that number 2 car looks pretty significant. I think he's going to be in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I was just checking the stand to see if it was 1 or 2 down. Yeah, scoring has put him at 2 down, and now when you got one driver at 1 down, and that's the 04 Chummy Miller.
And that's actually a really good point, Matt. I mean, that could be a make or break for some drivers. And the best part for Chummy is the fact that he's in this lead pack. So he's got the draft. He's at no risk of losing it. And I love right where he's running here is he's in the lead pack. He's in the draft, but he's just all off into the back of it. So he should be in a pretty safe position here. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on him over the course of this race here. And then also I'm going back to that battle for those drivers trying to get back into that main pack here. It's right now Quabi Brooks leading the 40 there of Brian Grimm. You got Todd Siebels right there as well, Robert Rock. They are starting to make a little bit of gains here. Last time by it was a 46.77 for Quabi to a 47.04 for Sebastian Marin. And I think they've just gotten into the draft window of those guys up in front of them. So I think they're going to be able to start to tag onto the back there. And yeah, this time around they get even closer there as Brian Grimm actually runs the fastest lap of the race of 46.20 to 47.24 up front here. So great job by those guys not giving up, and you can see they are now at the back of that lead pack once again.
That's a great job of pushing. Like I said, I don't have that much talent to push a guy and keep it from overheating.
And that's again, that's something we got to mention though, Matt, is again the teamwork and camaraderie of these guys. That driver pushing that 53 car was 2 laps down right now, the 40 of Brian Grimm. So even though he's out of the running there, he still plays a big role in these races, trying to help some of those guys around him. Say, of course, including one of his TW Motorsports teammates there of that 45 of Todd Siebel. So yeah, I mean that's what we see with these guys week in and week out. That big picture racing. It's a big bobble there in the inside lane by that 60 of Joseph Morales, but able to gather it back up. But right now, I think Peter DeBorgia here is not very comfortable with where he is because he's just seeing that movement there. And it puts you in you kind of get nervous when you see those little bobbles. You're like, man, I'm right behind him. I don't know where I can go if something happens. When you start to get 4 or 5 cars deep, kind of pinned in your lane, you're kind of in a tough spot there.
I was just watching to see if Jack Wall was just itching to get up to that top line, but I just watched the 15 had to check up so he can slide right in. That was a close call by Jack Walls there.
Yeah, another big move there by Dude Conrad. Found the opening. He jumps straight to the inside lane there as he's going to, it looks like I think he's feeling that's where the momentum is shifting there to the inside. So he's going to drop down with that, those guys with the 23, the 27, and the 10 as Fields coming up on, I believe that's the number 94 of Christopher Trevette. You can see him starting to drift to that outside lane as again, another big move. This time Charles Johnson immediately jumps down there as soon as it's cleared. yeah, these guys wasting no time to find those openings and kind of get them closed as fast as
I'm watching that lap card there, guy. That was really close there.
Yeah, Jack Wall's very close. Yeah, he's saying that's where things get a little sketchy.
I am crossing my fingers. Oh, God! He got into the 07. The caution's out.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, wow. Yeah, big hit there, and that's just unfortunately wasn't quite squeezed up against the wall there, quite enough, and unfortunately he's going to take out a few more drivers here. Looks like the 07, unfortunately, that's probably night over for him. I think Mark Brown, Chummy Miller also taking huge hits there as well. So we'll go back. We'll take one more look at this one, but yeah, unfortunately that was a pretty tough hit for a couple of those guys. So let's go back. We'll take a look here because yeah, it looked like a couple guys unfortunately did a little bit of airtime there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was quite unexpected.
Yeah, you see, kind of drifted down there, picks up the 07, and then just of course the loss of momentum that puts the 07 up into the outside wall, and then from here you see Mark Brown, Chummy Miller, just nowhere for the two of them to go. And then you see they start going down into the grass, and unfortunately it looks like, and you see once again the 07 getting some more air here. Then both these guys just straight into the inside wall there. They come straight across the track there. Man, we're going to watch that one more time from Vicente Guerrero's point of view because that went just right across the nose of his car. But then if you look back there, I mean, look at the job of these guys here. The 45 Todd Siebel's just able to squeak by there as well. And so, yeah, so big hits for those guys. But we're going to go back once more here. Because like I said, I want to see this from that point of view of Vicente Lopez. Because, man, that was very, very tight for him. Let me find Vicente here.
Wow.
Or Vicente Guerrero. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up names here. Let's back it on up.
Oh, my. You are not joking. Oh, my goodness.
And we'll play this at speed so you can see what's going on here. Yeah, that's a moment there.
Pucker moment there.
That
wow.
It is. So Vicente just able to sneak through there. And unfortunately, we mentioned Chummy Miller was in the perfect spot to try to get that lucky dog position. Unfortunately, now with that incident, that takes him out of contention, which is going to be a huge break for one driver who was 2 down, which I believe
that'd be sure. Brian Grimm. I think it was Brian Grimm.
I'm showing Michael Spell 1 down. Oh, I think he went 1 down. So we'll keep an eye on Brian here, see if he swings on by the pace car. But yeah, you might be right. That might be Brian's lucky break here to put him back to just 1 down. Yep, there he goes. So we talked about Brian. He pushed that 53, the 45 back to the lead pack. Now he's going to get rewarded and get one of those 2 back. And I'm saying he's going to be in a good spot because the only car he's got to contend with now is Michael Spell, who again was right now missing the hood of that car. So then now here's the next part, Matt. We are at 29 to go. So we're going to be restarting this race with, I believe, 27 to go. That is going to be absolutely tight on that fuel window. And I'm sure we're going to see a handful of drivers here top off on that one to go as well.
Yeah, I'd say they're going to be close to about a lap and a half short.
But you know somebody's going to be going after. And also the other thing we got to mention here, look at Vicente Guerrero. He stays out here. He's going to be banking on a yellow to give himself a chance to get back into the thick of it as well. So he's going to get the wave around on the 1 to go, which again, watching the timing and scoring here on the left, I believe that will put him from 2 down to 1 down as well. It will. So actually it'll be 3 cars now. It'll be Michael Spell, Brian Grimm, and Vicente Guerrero. And again, and if not for Vicente missing that wreck there by inches, just the way those guys flew by his nose there, that would take him out of contention. But you can see right here, I think we're getting our answer here.
Yep, everybody's coming down.
We're going to get a lot of drivers here topping off. Jack Wall's going to stay out, but Sebastian Mayer and Zachary Lima, they're going to hit pit road and probably bringing a handful of others with them. Yeah, you see Dude Conrad, and then from Joseph Morales on back. Remember we talked about Joseph, we were worried about that pit strategy. That caution puts him right back into the thick of things as well.
I was just about to bring it up to you. I said he was about 1 or 2 laps and he had to pit there. He was so close. What a break for him.
So it looks like our top 10 here are going to stay out, Matt. So that's going to be Jack Walls, Alberto Lopez, Donald Stewart, Noel Kors, Keith Horner, Peter DeBorgia, Everett Lane, Cody Nagels, Dan Harrington, and TJ Allen. They all pitted on 46. And then 11th on back, though, we're going to have these guys are going to restart single file again, because if you top off on that one to go, it goes to a single file restart for these guys. So you're going to see from 11th on back to about 25th, I believe. Actually, 26th, I think. Well, we'll say 25th because James Hickson missing his front clip there to Jim Brooks there. So that's the next concern, is these guys are going to have about 14 rows deep, 14 cars deep, I should say, single file. You do not want to lose this draft on this restart, as we saw in that previous one.
Okay, just to clarify this, the last time we had a fuel-saving race, my boy Todd Siebels had a great day.
Yeah, Todd is a good fuel saver.
The TW Motorsports all had a great day.
So we'll see. Oh, you also see here's another wrench in things. You see that 59 machine there on Jay Hilliard missing the front clip, but he's going to be restarting the 5th car in that inside lane. I don't know if that 23 Sebastian Marin's aware of that, so he's going to have to be careful here as Jack Walds leads the field back to green, as we've got 27 to go here at the line. Yeah,
hey, Jay is really nice. He drops at the bottom.
Yeah, great sportsmanship there by Jay.
Yep, lots of respect by Jay there.
However, it's that outside line that's starting to propel just a little bit there through 1 and 2. And we've seen that outside line really starts to make some momentum off of turn 2. So this could be a great opportunity here for Alberto Lopez, as he's got Donald Stewart right behind him, trying to push him on forward. See a little bit of separation there, but now it looks like they get rehooked up here. As right now it's kind of neck and neck here between Jack and Alberto as they hit turn number 3.
I'm going to be watching lap times. That's the first thing I'll be watching now. You probably see it drop off at about a second, maybe 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. And I think actually, I mean, look at already here the 23 and the 27 here. They're already right with that lead pack here on the inside line, and you know that, like I said, they're just going absolute full fuel save right now. So as long as, if there's any instance, as long as they can avoid it, because you can see it already still being very aggressive up front there with Alberto just a nose ahead out of turn 2. But they're able to really start to max fuel save. But again, you can see just a lot of movement here in front of them. But you're right, though. I think pretty much all those guys that topped off in the Wendigo, they're going to make their intentions known there with the fact that it's like, hey, I want to make this thing to the end without a pit stop. If I can get away with it, it's a little bit of movement on that inside line. This time I think it was the 83 of Jack Walls, but again, still everybody pointing straight here. We're going to cross this time around here, Matt. 25 laps to go. Oh, the 78 there turned across. Oh, we're going to have a big wreck here.
Big wreck. Oh, that beautiful paint scheme. Oh, boy. You hate to see it.
Saying actually,
we're still green.
We're still green. I think the Adams will throw a yellow there. So we'll wait for that to happen. But unfortunately, currently, yep, there it is.
Yep, there it is.
We were still green there. But yeah, and unfortunately, it just looked like a late move there that was not quite clear of that number 10 machine. And that's what caused the incident there. So we'll go back once more and check. But I think, unfortunately, that's what I had saw there. So I think it kicked off right around it was the battle for the lead there. And I think it was with Donald Stewart, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go hunt it down here once again. So you see the 78 here. He's got just a nose ahead at the moment. But as they cross the line, though, he tries to kind of clear that number 10. But you can see the nose, just barely not clear there. I'll say spotter. And honestly, the spotter may have cleared him, but then unfortunately sends him off into the grass. And then at that point, as you can see, everybody stacking up behind there. Jack Wall's getting hooked in the left rear there. And that's what's sending these guys all behind for kind of just having to try to find somewhere to react there. You see Peter DeBorgia here is going to try to squeeze the gap there between the two of them. As I say, you see Jack Walls up on the outside, and then from here it's just all on Michael Spell. I say if anything can go wrong, it does go wrong. He gets another piece of that one. And then, yeah, like I said, it's going to be hard to kind of catch who wasn't involved in this one. But as a whole, though, I think these guys, again, you can see everybody kind of all jumping around, moving around there. TJ Allen, unfortunately, gets a little piece of it as well. I see Bob Fitzgerald sliding backwards into that 78 just for good measure. And then who was that down all in the apron? Oh, it's Sebastian Marin. I think gets away with it, but definitely doing some pretty good off-road excursions there to avoid that. However, now we're back to the fuel window here, Matt. I think we will see some more drivers pit here because now this will put you in the window where there's no question, even with overtime. And yeah, sure enough, here comes from about third on back here. Gonna all hit pit road, just get that little bit more fuel for a little bit more insurance.
Yeah, Marin does have front nose damage.
Oh yeah, you're right. A little bit of front damage there to him. I would think for him at this point, I would suspect probably just go ahead and just get it repaired manually. Because, I mean, you can see just the aggression that's been going on in this race so far. And, yeah, sure enough, that car is not kind of getting magically fixed. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and opt to get that fast... Or, sorry, not use the fast repair, save that. So we'll have to keep an eye on his progress and what his car looks like as the run goes on. However, staying out here, Keith Horner, Everett Lane, and Dude Conrad... as well from behind Charles Johnson, Derrick Walker, Dean Wilkinson, William George, Joseph Morales. So top 8 now, all opting to stay out. Zachary Lima on back pitting. And Lucky Dog once again, Matt, 2 in a row. Brian Grimm back on the lead lap now.
Awesome.
And also this is a pretty good break, I feel like, for Vicente Guerrero as well, because now he's back to 1 down, but is on the same fuel window as everybody else, so doesn't have to worry about possibly a late pit stop. So that gamble he took to take that wave round also pays off for Vicente here as well. So a great call by that 14.
Trying to get my results up here, see who's leading right now at the moment. That would be Keith Horner at the moment.
Yes, right now Keith Horner leading Everett Lane, Dude Conrad, Charles Johnson, and Derrick Walker are top 5. And then Mr. Sandbags over there, the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, he's decided, you know what? I'm going to stay and do my track position and keep it now, as he's going to be up into that 6th position now, plus 33 positions from his starting spot tonight.
That's pretty impressive so far.
Yeah, so far so good. And the other thing too, I mean, I mentioned the concerns about green flag pit stops. I don't believe he's had to worry about them tonight, because again, he had one of those first pit stalls on entry, and it's very easy to overshoot the pit stall, especially under green flag conditions. Because a lot of these guys, I mean, you plan to get down to about 55, whereas he has to pretty much be getting down to stop at the pit road entry commitment line, because that's where his pit stall is, one of those first ones. So I think those cautions actually also a bit of a break for Dean there, in my opinion.
Well, usually in races where we see Dean Wilkinson, he'll go up, lead a lap, and drop back to the back. Fortunately here at Daytona, 3-wide racing is very scarce. More intently, you probably see him do that at Talladega.
Yeah, exactly right. Talladega, third lane will happen early and often. Daytona, I think we'll still see it. I think it's going to be another probably about 15 more laps until we really start to see someone try to make that big push. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. So, but again, though, so on the fuel side of things, at this point now, I think everybody's good to go to the end. From Zachary Lima on back, I think they're good to go to the end, plus green-white checkers should we need them. Again, we do have those 3 attempts of it, but first we've got 21 laps to go here at the restart. It's going to be Keith Horner leading the way with Everett Lane on his outside as we get back going here. So we'll see who's going to be the one to try to top it off here at 21 to go, try to get the win here tonight.
Hey, remember I said earlier in the race my drivers to watch? He's running 4th. Yep, he's running 4th right now. Mr. Charles Johnson, probably a really good pusher, and he's got his fellow TW Motorsport number 55 right behind him.
Yeah, he's in a pretty good lane here with some pretty stout drivers there. Like I said, you got Everett Lane in front, Dean Wilkinson behind. You see Dude Conrad giving Keith Horner all he can handle there as they head back into 3. You see a little further back, I do see one peeking up to that 3rd lane. I believe that may be Sebastian Marin here. Say not a big surprise.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, there's Sebastian trying to work that 3rd lane. And yeah, right now, I say he's trying to get to the outside of the 19, but not quite enough. And I say we do have a good update though. Mark Brown is just messaged us over here. He's out of the infield care center and is okay after taking that vicious hit from the inside wall to the outside wall. But we are back under yellow here, and it looks like it's over in the back half of the field here.
Oh.
And, oh, I see who's that down on the inside line. I think that was Kevin LaChance. Yeah, Kevin LaChance involved. Looks like possibly Bud Steele as well. So that's going to put us back under yellow here. So again, going to be some more fuel-saving opportunities for a handful of these guys. But let's go back and see what happened. Yeah, it was definitely involving Kevin LaChance here. Let's go and see what exactly happened to this number 19 machine. You can see Kevin on the outside. Oh, actually, yeah, he was right next to the 23. And just kind of squeezes up into the outside there. And
oh, Quabi took a little hit to the side right there.
Oh, yeah, Quabi gets a pretty good side shot. So Sebastian Marin there involved. A little side shot, you're right there for the 53. And then you see everybody trying to see if they can sneak around on the inside. You see Todd Siebel's doing some good avoiding action. Oh, but on the outside, I believe that may have been TJ Allen. Yeah, it was TJ Allen getting a piece of it as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, a few more involved there. So that's going to put us back under yellow here. So, oh, as Bud Steele does a little bit of off-roading there in that number 6 machine.
You got to check
on that road course curb.
You got to check out Robert Rock's view.
All right, we'll go back here from Robert Rock's point of view. Let's jump back one more time here. And this time we'll hop on the roof of Robert Rock in that 171. All right, so apologies for the background noise here. The cat and child are having their conversation right now. But yes, so we're on board here with Robert Rock. We'll pick up the speed here. And then you can see everything happening in front of him. You see Bud Steele making the quick avoiding action. Oh, but here comes the 19 sliding right into the path, and looks like, I think, just gets by and then continue on here. Watch Bud Steele here. Gets a nice little hang time there in that number 6 machine. I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad. That's going to put us back under yellow here. So this time we'll do is, I'll say, kind of a quick yellow. Probably not a lot of strategy going to be going on here. So we'll step away for just a moment, and then we'll get back with here on the 1 to go. So stay tuned. All right, we are back. Pace car lights are off. And do you need to mention, though, the big beneficiary of that yellow? Vicente Guerrero back on the lead lap in that number 14. So he's got to restart in the back here, but will be back on the lead lap. So again, that strategy call staying out works perfectly for him. And that will leave us, I believe, now 26 27 cars on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, 26 cars on the lead lap. Right now, Michael Spell being the only one lap down. So we'll see here, but we're going to restart this thing. 16 to go. I think fuel, like I said, fuel concerns pretty much completely out the window here. Maybe some green white checker concerns for those top 7 that did not pit under those last couple of yellows, but I think from Zachary Lema on back, those guys should be good to go to the finish here. So we'll see. We got 16 more to try to get this done, though. All right, so Keith Horner, Jude Conrad leading the front row here. Again, the 37 has control, and he is down and away. Great push from Charles Johnson there. You can see already a nose ahead in that number 37 as they head back into turn number 1.
Speaking of our new guy, he's getting Duke Conrad a big old push down the backstretch.
Yeah, say Derrick Walker right in the thick of it here in that number 20. And so you get a really good look of that blue chrome on the door, that paint scheme looking really good there. As you see, pushing Dude just to the side door of that 37. Not quite enough yet for Dude to make any moves, but we got a lot of movement going on behind him on the outside lane, the 26 and the 27, kind of duking around a little bit just for a moment there. Now get it squared back in. I think that's going to help propel that outside line once again, get moving once again further forward. As right now, looks like, again, about 23 drivers in this lead pack. Unfortunately, looks like Kevin LaChance going to be leading that second pack out of the draft, but definitely some significant damage. But the one who's really going to be hurting out of this is Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels. Unfortunately, they're out of that draft as well. So we'll see. So they're going to need a little bit of help. But right now, we do have 23 drivers in this lead pack here with that 45. Todd Siebel's kind of just cruising once again. I think just trying to keep that car safe.
Lots of moving around from the 26. I don't know if he was trying to find a lane on the top line or he's just trying to feel things out.
Well, I'll say one that's not going to hesitate to go back up the second time that outside line is that 23 of Sebastian Reyna. He's once again up top, but again, just no help yet. So I don't know if he's going to have a lot of momentum to go with him here, at least in this point of the race. But you can see he's right on the outside of Alberto Lopez there. Trying to get some positions back in that 23, but right now, just like I said, just doesn't have the help he needs, and you can see just starting to drop back a little bit. I think, again, just not the track position that he's used to having here, and just unfortunately also a lot of his help is actually too far up really to give him that benefit of the doubt that he needs.
It looked like Alberto was thinking about sneaking up there for a minute, but I kind of think he changed his mind.
Oh, big wiggle there off of 4 for Jim Brooks.
Big
He's able to
checkup,
hang on to it there. Not sure if it was a checkup or what happened, but you see Jimmy's going to try to bring it back up from the apron to the track. He does so, and I think we'll able to hold on to the lead pack as well. So I think that's going to be about the best you can make out of a situation like that. So good hands by him. Not sure if that was if it was contact or just loose off of 4, but we stay green here as we have 13 to go. Right now, still Keith Horner, Dude Conrad leading the way.
Yeah, he just barely touched that apron.
And as I say that, Duke Conrad jumps to the inside line as he clears, but gets a great push on the outside as Derrick Walker getting the push he needs from Peter DeBorgia. As now that 20, we again talked about a new name, new face, and he's making his name heard here at a really opportune time here as we get into that closing stages of the race. Getting some big pushes from that 26, 27, trying to help them along as well here.
Yeah, I'm probably expecting the 26 to push the 20 to the lead here. And then the 26 and 27 will probably try and control the lace from the top and bottom lines. We'll see what happens. It's 11 to go. A lot of racing left.
Yeah, still plenty of time left to go. You can see the 20 again getting a push as he goes into 3. Not quite enough to clear yet. But again, like you said, Matt, though, a lot of movement happening. And here comes some outside line with some help. The 23, 24, they've hooked up together trying to make something happen. I say no surprise to see Everett Lane working with that 23. But again, just a lot of movement, though. I say Daytona's not as forgiving as Talladega in that third lane. And things
whoa, that was really
dicey.
close.
And I think Everett Lane there saw what was happening. He decided to get back to 2 wide, as does the 23 Sebastian Marin. I say they're not done. They're going to be making the push here. And I say while we were watching that though, Derrick Walker, he's got just a nose ahead again. The bumps though just getting a little wiggly here, as these guys are starting to push just harder and harder. And wondering maybe, I got contact in the back. Quabi Brooks. Big hit for the 53, 51. The 92's in there as well. And this will most likely bring out another yellow here, but it hasn't yet. But I don't see any way that it's not going to bring one out here. So unfortunately, more cars involved. Yep. Actually, no, still staying green at the moment. I'd say it's kind of a similar situation. I figured the admins will throw in here, but we'll go back. We'll take a look at it as they run here. But yeah, unfortunately, bad break for Jim Brooks, Quabi Brooks, and a few others involved. So we'll jump back up front right now for the moment as they run 2 by 2. And then I'll go back and try to see if I can find where this all kicked off here. I think it may have happened around Alberto Lopez, Jim Brooks. We'll jump back. We're going to try to take a quick look here. And you can already see the contact happen. So let's back it up one more time here. It looks like it's the 40. Oh, yeah, big checkup. And that sends the 10 into the 53. And the 53, unfortunately, gets into the 51 there. And you see the 92, 19, the 14 as well. Yeah, again, honestly don't know how that's not a yellow there, but say iRacing giveth, iRacing taketh away, it seems. So we jump back up front here, though, Matt, because we were in single digits here, 9 to go. And while all that was going on, the 37 Keith Horner's found himself to lead that outside line here with Dude Conrad leading the inside.
Yep.
And here comes that third lane.
I was getting ready to say that 26 and 27 and Sebastian Marin, they are all teammates.
They finally found each other.
Yep, exactly. I really see that outside line is going to start to move here. They all have to be careful. Whoa, big bobble by Joseph Morales on the bottom there, who was able to hold on to it. We stay green here.
Yeah, a lot of movement happening right now. You see the 37 now is able to get to the inside lane, but already the outside lane able to push into that middle lane as these guys, we're going to get contact here.
There they go.
We got wrecking behind, and big wreck in the back there. The 40, the 20, the 15's involved as well. I think I saw Sebastian Marin in there somewhere as well. 24 Everett Lanes around, and 26 as well getting a piece. So we're gonna have a late yellow here. Unfortunately, a few drivers having to take a tow, and it's unfortunate. I'd say we're gonna be back to kind of a little bit of an attrition race here. It looks like. As we got a few drivers that are from the previous incident are still on pit road as well. So, unfortunately, a lot of drivers in a pretty tough spot here. But we'll go back, we'll take a look. But right now, it's going to be Keith Horner continuing to hold the lead here as we go to yellow at 7 to go.
And unfortunately, that's going to end a couple of nights there by Jim Brooks, Everett Lane, all with packed their bags. And, that's unfortunate for them guys.
Yeah, it's been building up. These guys have just been getting tighter and tighter on one another, and unfortunately, it all just kind of came to a T here at this point up front. And we've had a couple incidents where should have been incidents, but just they stayed green somehow. But you can see right there the 26 kind of in the middle, straddling the inside-outside line, or the middle and outside lines, I should say. And then unfortunately, the contact between the 20 and the 26 that sends him down into the 8 machine. And then that'll bounce them all straight back to the outside. You see the 27, 23 getting contact. And then from behind there, just everybody starts to kind of just pile in, unfortunately. Just nowhere to go. Just the holes close up so fast. And so here's that 40. We're talking about the 40 getting all his laps back. Unfortunately, he gets a piece of that as well. I think one that may have just peeked through there was the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. We're kind of watching his point of view. I think he sneaks through here. I see Jack Walls pretty much coming to a complete stop in the 83 towards the back there. Just gets a little bit of a shot. I think gets the 82 a bit. But it looks like about 4 or 5 cars might get through pretty cleanly here. So we'll jump back live, though, once again, because we still have a lot of drivers hitting pit road. And looks like maybe 4, maybe 5 drivers here staying out, including Robert Rock, which is going to put him back up into that top 5 here.
Yeah, I was looking here what happened to Todd Siebels. Unfortunately, our cameras did not pick that up. He had a little incident with Bud Steele that was about 5 laps back.
Yeah, saying that. Unfortunately, it seems like there's a couple instances that, again, like I said, should have brought yellows out, but did not. Did see the 92 there get around, I believe, to get a lap back. So trying to find the time score. That's Robert Felzine, or Felzine. That's how to find the last name there. I believe puts him back on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe from 2 to 1 down. So I'm watching timing scoring, trying to get an update there. But what we do know right now is we've got from first to about, for sure, 15th, 16th. Yeah, I think that actually does put Robert back on the lead lap.
Yep, you are correct, sir. He just took the wave around.
And that car looks awful clean, so Robert's still with an outside chance at this one as well. As say Vicente Guerrero, say was kind of involved in that one that didn't bring out the yellow, but stayed able to keep going, stay on the lead lap, and he's still got a chance at this one. Todd Siebels, like I said, incident on Bud Steele, but also still on the lead lap. Car looks clean. Not sure if that's through fast repair or not. So we still got, realistically, looks like about 15 plus cars that have a realistic chance to try to win this race here tonight. So what we're going to have here, Matt, is we're still outside green-white checkered territory. It's going to basically be a green-white checker because we're going to restart this thing with 4 to go. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. That'd be with 3 to go. So, yeah, we're going to have a couple of green flag laps before we get that white flag. And, again, for those that may not be familiar with the green-white checkered, the way it works, what they do is if there's an incident before they get to the white flag, they'll rack them up and have 3 attempts of a finish before. And in that third attempt, if there's a yellow before the white flag flies, they will finish where they stood under yellow. However, if the white flag flies, if there's any instance at that point, the race plays out and it's basically just first driver across the line, pending admin review, of course. So say these guys got a few more laps, though, to try to get to that position and try to take that white flag here. So we have a very shaken up front end of this race now, though, Matt. We've seen Keith Horner, Dude Conrad up there a bunch. Charles Johnson, he's brought himself into the mix here pretty recently. But now you got Dean Wilkinson's up here. Robert Rock's in the mix as well. You got Peter DeBorgia, Zachary Lima actually falling a little bit back from where they've been throughout the course of this race. Then you got Dan Harrington in 82. He's right up into the thick of this. Joseph Morales still in it. Eric Laurie. So we've got a lot of kind of comers and goers here. So really anybody's guess at this point, but what we do know is we've got at least 4 more laps to find out who's going to win this race as pace car ducks off, and it's going to be, again, Keith Horner, Dude Conrad, as we get back to go here, 4 to go.
All TW Motorsports, the 9, the 55, and the 171.
Yeah, the question is, can they find a way to get hooked up together? Right now, there's definitely some pretty big separation on the inside line. Outside line's pretty well hooked on together. As the 8 and the 55, the 26 here, he's going to peek up to the outside line. That's Peter DeBorgia. He's going to grab his teammate along with him in that 27. As we're going to once again go 3 wide here as they head back to turn number 3.
Not a big surprise. Them two working great together.
Yeah, once again, Peter able to get to that middle lane as they get tight off of turn number 4. A lot of wiggles, looks like. Oh, for the moment.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it.
All right, they got it held together. It was tight for a moment. Keith Horner continues leading out. Peter DeBorgia leading that middle lane. As unfortunate, outside lane again fizzles out just a little bit. Unfortunate, 27 doesn't have the help he needs. And we've got 3 more to go still.
See, my pick of the race is, they're going to leave him out to dry.
He tried to go to the middle there, hoped to get the push, but he...
Yep, there's his teammate there, Dean Wilkinson, pick him up.
Yeah, Dean's going to try to pick him up, but it's going to be Peter DeBorgia that's going to push to the front for the moment. Has to figure out which lane to choose. He's going to choose the middle for the moment. And now he's going to go straight to the inside lane here. So Peter leading here as we got a little bit of contact, more contact, and we are going to go up and around. We're going to be into overtime here, Matt. As caution comes out once again. And it looks like at the line it's Peter DeBorgia leading it. but behind him, it's all kind of a guess here. But that's going to put us into that first attempt of a green-white checkered. We're going to go back and take one more look at this here as well. As I say, these guys started kind of bouncing off each other, unfortunately, and then from there, yeah, just kind of all went awry there.
That's just classic Daytona. Very narrow racetrack, 3 wide. Just classic. It is what it is.
Yeah, it looked like it was kind of Charles Johnson, Dude Conrad, kind of just wound up pinballing off of each other. You see on the inside line, looks like actually Keith Horner drifts up just a teeny bit, maybe pushes Charles a little bit wide, but then everything looks okay for the moment. But then you can see again a little bit of contact. Yeah, you see the 37, definitely contact with the 9 there. And then from there, that's where the kind of the pinball starts off. You see the 9, the 8, then back to the 37, and then behind them, there's just nothing they can do. You see some of the TW guys getting together there. The 171, the 55. Looks like yeah, Dean gets a solid piece of that as well. Unfortunately, it sends him into the grass, and then behind them, there's just the track just kind of closes up here. Unfortunately, you see the 27 sneaks on through. But yeah, say behind them though, it's again just everybody's just trying to find a place to get by this incident.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's attrition. It's what we've been fighting all week. These drivers have a lot of talent, so I don't doubt their talents one bit.
Yeah, and then a few drivers kind of getting caught up into the very end. You see the 45 Todd Siebels just gets a piece at the very end as well. So we'll jump back live once again. And again, I think it's going to be a bit of an attrition event here to see kind of who's got what left. I mean, you see the wave around going to that 19, missing the complete front end of that car. So what we do know right now is, again, on the lead lap here, looks like at least the top 13. We got a few more in pit road just trying to get anything and everything repaired, including Zachary Lima. So we'll see. It looks like about 15 currently sitting on the lead lap here. Jack Wall's just rolling out of pit road as well. But yeah, so now it's just going to kind of be who's got what to make something happen. As you see, Charles Johnson still in the thick of this thing in that 9 machine. Front clip missing on that one. Also, Eric Laurie missing his front clip. So yeah, this is going to be a tricky restart here. Again, these drivers that have good cars, but maybe not the track position that they need here. And again, this is going to be attempt number 1, Matt. They do have up to 3 attempts, so I don't think fuel's going to be a concern for anybody. But I do see a good potential of having to go to 2 or 3, just with the fact that we're going to have some cars missing pieces of their front end to say they're going to be way off pace. That can always, unfortunately, cause some stack ups here on these restarts.
Yeah, I'll probably look for Charles to come down pit road. Looks like no. Looks like he's either going to drop to the apron, or he doesn't know he has front end damage. Hopefully his teammate right in front of him will let him know.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, though, because Charles is going to be restarting on the outside line. Eric Laurie on the inside line, also missing his front clip. But we saw some other drivers kind of sliding through the grass, probably some damage as well, including that 60 of Joseph Morales. He's definitely got some right rear damage to his machine. So, yeah, it's really anybody's guess right now to who's going to be where here on this after this restart.
Speaking of that, Gael, we are pretty close on fuel. That's why I see the 26 drop to the apron.
Yeah, a little surprised by the 26 here because it's showing he pitted on lap number 69. So Keith Horner, I'm showing last pit at lap 46. So I'm a little worried about Keith, honestly, more than I'd be worried about Peter here. But they have had a couple of yellows since their last pit stop there. So they've had opportunity to save, like I said, whether or not it's enough to save multiple green-white checkers is yet to be seen. But yeah, I mean, crazier things have happened here. So we'll see. I say right now it looks like we have about 16, I think maybe 17 cars on this lead lap here. The question is going to be which of those cars are still in contention here and in drivable shape, really, to have a chance at this. And like I said, we might get some pretty big momentum from various drivers here, because I see a couple of cars looking very clean still. William George in the 09, his car looks nice and clean. So William could have a chance to try to throw maybe a little bit of an upset there for himself as well.
I'll be watching that top line. I am very concerned about the 9 car starting up in the 4th spot, taking a restart here.
Yeah, so this is where the stack-ups always have that risk of happening here as we get back to green. So again, green-white checkered attempts number 1 will be at 2 to go at the line. However, if there's an incident before they get to that white flag, they will rack them up and do it again. But you can see Charles Johnson just can't keep up here, and you can see everybody starting to try to drop to the inside to find a way to get around him. And really the driver that hurts the most right now is that 37 of Keith Horner having no drafting help. But look at Eric Laurie, front clip missing and all. He's actually hanging on to this draft at the moment.
Wow.
But we'll see if that's able to continue on or not. But right now, like I said, that inside lane nice and formed. Keith Horner, a very lonely driver on that outside lane.
The question is, when is Robert Rock going to pull out? Because and then the question is Eric Laurie going to go with him?
I think Eric's got to race his own race at this point. I think he's just got to try to salvage what he can. But we're going to get to that white flag, it looks like. So we've got 1 to go. It's Peter DeBorgia leading Robert Rock, Eric Laurie, Dan Harrington. Keith Horner, again, he's trying to do something, has no help still. And then behind them, Vicente Guerrero, William George trying to build that momentum up from that second pack behind. We'll see if they have enough time here as we're going to come through turn number 2 here as we come backstretch for the final time.
We see a top run by the 37 of Keith Horner.
Yeah.
There he goes. There's Robert Rock jumping to the top side. Oh, he got in the back of him. And he decides to drop down.
Yeah, Keith ditches his help there for the moment, but that's going to bring the second pack here. They've got a lot of momentum out of 3 and 4. We'll see if maybe the 171 can get the push he needs from Dan Harrington. They got contact back. They're going to go around. Peter DeBorgia, he's going to come through unscathed, and without a front end, Eric Laurie's going to grab second. William George is going to bring it home in that 3rd position. Unfortunately, some of those guys in the back there, Dan Harrington, get caught up at that very end. Barely get across the line there. Robert Rock's going to find a way to still finish in 4th. Dean Wilkinson, a top 5. But I'm going to say Eric Laurie. Look at this car here, Matt.
Yeah,
and tell me how this car finishes second. I don't know what to say about that, but I mean, way to go, Eric Laurie, never giving up though. And
way to go,
had
Eric.
The power, didn't have the arrow, but stayed tucked onto the back of whoever was in front of him and put himself in a chance to still get a win here, but winds up finishing second. So, but with that though, it's going to be Peter DeBorgia getting the win here tonight at Daytona.
Great job, Peter. He stayed up front pretty much the whole entire day, and it pays off for him. And hopefully he gets to celebrate with his teammates, because in this series, it's a win for one guy is a win for the team.
Yeah, it really does seem to have that. So we'll pull up our race results while we watch him celebrate here. As again, Peter DeBorgia getting the win over Eric Laurie, William George in 3rd. Then you got Robert Rock in the 4th position, Dean Wilkinson 5th, Robert Felsian in 6th, Zachary Lima 7th, Dan Harrington 8th, Joseph Morales, Todd Siebels rounding out our top 10. Then you got James Hickson, Cody Nagels, Keith Horner unfortunately winds up in 13th. Then you got Jack Walls, Vicente Guerrero, Kevin LaChance, and Charles Johnson rounding out our top 17 lead lap finishers. Michael Spell in 18th. So we continue through the results here. In 19th position, you've got Todd Merkel, Bob Fitzgerald, Duke Conrad, Sebastian Marin, Bud Steele, Brian Grimm, Noel Coors, Derrick Walker, Everett Lane, Alberto Lopez. Then you got Quaby Brooks, Jim Brooks, Jay Hilliard, TJ Allen, Donald Stewart, Mark Brown, Jimmy Miller, Robert DuPont, Christopher Trevette, Mark Mastrella in 38th. And then, unfortunately, Matt, you're scored as 39th over BK Anderson and Ryan Kelly. But really 38 drivers taking part in tonight's event. So with that, we got to chat with some drivers here, Matt. And we're going to kick things off with our 3rd place finisher of William George. So let me pull everything up here so we can get stuff ready to have a chat with them. Find our checkered flag here so we can get a good view of this machine. All right, so we're going to pull up our 3rd place finisher here in that 09 of William George. And man, it was an eventful one here tonight, to say the least. However, able to bring it home in that 3rd position. So you had to work your way up there a few times. Just kind of kept your car clean when you needed to at the end. Even though you can see in the picture here a little bit of nose damage there at the end, but able to make the moves and avoid some of the carnage there to grab that third place tonight. I mean, just take us through it tonight, because I mean, it seemed like there was times where it looked like all was going to go well, and then things kind of got chaotic there at the end. But I mean, just take us through your race tonight, because I mean, you also gained 16 spots, so you had to work your way kind of mid-pack to the front here tonight.
Oh, definitely, man. It was like playing dodgeball out there, it seemed like. But it was just, I had a lot of help out there. I had TJ spot me for a little bit after he got taken out, so that helped out a lot. And it was just luck and having some help, really.
Yeah, so the next part of that, of course, is that last restart. So you guys kind of got separated, that front couple cars to the second pack, with a lot of drivers in kind of different situations with damage and such. So, I mean, how much was it for you guys to try to basically like kind of work together, if you will, to stay, okay, hey, if we want to have a chance even to get there, we got to stay together and just get to those guys, and then from there make the moves. Was there any communication, or is it just kind of you guys just maybe having the same mindset all together as that restart went on?
Oh, definitely. We had some little communication with each other, and he said he'll push me up there if he could. But I had to check up real hard, because that 27 came up the middle there, and the 14 got in front of me. So I just went ahead and said, you know what? I'm going to go where you're going to go. I'm going to shove you up there. Let's do this. And so that's what we basically did.
I mean, it worked out in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, to grab that top 3 tonight, saying some new paint scheme on the side of that 09 as well. So definitely want to give you the floor here, man, for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that third place tonight.
Oh man, it's been a very emotional roller coaster, and like I said, I just lost my grandmother, and like I said, this even though it's third, it means a lot to get a podium finish, especially for my grandma here. And I just want to thank TJ and 925 Custom Wraps. They did a heck of a job putting her face on the hood of this car. And I want to thank Chummy. And I don't even know. I'm lost of words right now, honestly. Like I said, I've just been trying to fight back tears, because, like I said, I did this for my grandma. So.
Oh.
Yeah, no, and you're right, man. That's definitely a tough one to do, and but like you said, though, it's sometimes nice to kind of just be able to get good results like that. It's like kind of like I said, be able to do these races, take your mind off it, hang out with some friends and such, and just to kind of enjoy yourself. But yeah, I mean, a great job, Ty. Yeah, definitely thinking of you and your family. So it's definitely a tough time to be going through. So definitely wishing you all the best, though, William. And yeah, hopefully start feeling better here over the coming couple days, weeks.
I really appreciate that, and like I said, this month hasn't been very nice to me for the past couple years, especially last year. I lost my grandfather as well, so it's just, I don't know. It's crazy, like you said, just trying to keep my mind off of everything, try to hang out with friends, and try to get through everything. And especially my other grandpa, he's going through a lot. So I just want to pray for him and the rest of my family.
Yeah, so we're definitely here for you. So we've got a good little support core here as well with Area 51. So yeah, definitely don't hesitate to hit up any of us if you need some kind of a shoulder to lean on or anybody to talk to. Say there's definitely a lot of people here to help if needed. So yeah, I mean, congrats again tonight, William, with a great result. But yeah, definitely thinking of you and your family, and I hopefully you guys can kind of get through this as best you can, and look forward to seeing you again here soon, though, sir.
Definitely, I appreciate you.
All right, that's our third place finisher. And it's tough, man. I mean, you never know what some of these guys are going through in these races, and little things. I mean, let's say again, like it's like, oh, it's just a race and all that, but it makes such a big deal for some guys, and it, like I said, it's a little bit of everything. It can be an escape from reality, or like I said, just get your mind off some tough stuff going on at home. So yeah, definitely thinking of you, William, and the rest of your family. Say definitely thinking of you all, and thoughts and condolences, and yeah, just it's a tough time for any and every family there. So yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's always a tough way to switch over, Matt, but we got to keep on going here. We're going to...
Yeah, I really want to hear from this driver.
Yeah, so we're going to kick things over to somehow our number 071 modified, used to be a Chevy Camaro of Eric Laurie. So the question, though, Eric, is were you even aware of how little of the front end of your car you had there, but still somehow able to hold on to that draft and keep yourself in contention for a great result, ultimately bringing it up to a runner-up spot here tonight?
Yeah, I was aware of it. Gabe had told me, and Sebastian said something about it too.
So aero-wise, rough, but and then I'm guessing that the big thing, of course, is the motor you're watching that. So is that something you look at the RPMs? Like, okay, do I have motor damage? Is the motor good? It's just body work, or kind of what's the mindset of coming kind of at the closure of the race? Like, okay, hey, do I stay out? Do I pit? Do I just kind of see how the restart goes and then decide accordingly? I mean, what's going through your mind knowing what you have to work with there on that last restart?
Well, the whole thing is I didn't know what I had left, so I figured, well, just run it what I can and see what I got. I did tell Dan behind me if I got damage, I may be slow. If I am, I'll pull off. But it kept up with the pack there a little bit and stayed with it. And then this people on the outside come around, and then the seas parted and went right through them in the middle and got second.
Wow.
That's just unbelievable. I've been, plague racing for a little while. Me having a wreck car like that, I just fall straight to the back. I'm just overwhelmed. You were able to grab second place. I'm just like, wow, it's a shocker. So I'm guessing you were tucked in tighter. Is that the key to keeping that car right next to the first place car?
Yeah, I tried keeping right up to the guy in front of me and took off as best as I could to keep up with him. I knew there was still a gap there, but it was keeping it there. So, hey, run him down if I can.
Unbelievable finish, man. I just hats off to you. Very, very good job.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
Really impressive run there, Eric. Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the best finishers for one of the most destroyed cars that we've seen over the course of the seasons here. But yeah, just awesome job, like I said, hanging in there and still, like I said, able to bring home an amazing result, grabbing that second spot. So before we let you go, though, definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for grabbing that second spot tonight.
Well, I'd like to thank Area 51 for putting on these races. It's a lot of fun. Want to thank you guys for doing what you do. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here now doing this. So, and I want to thank the rest of my team. They all did a good job tonight. It's just too many to mention.
Yeah, so you guys, so you got a good core of guys over there. But yeah, awesome job though tonight, Eric. So enjoy this one. So definitely looking forward to seeing you throughout the rest of the season.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good night.
You the same, brother.
All right, that leaves us one person left to chat with, and that is going to be our race winner in that number 26 of Peter DeBorgia. So at this point, I mean, might as well be calling you Mr. Daytona. So get in the NIS 500 win, get in the win here tonight. But anything but easy tonight, I'm sure, as well for the NIS race itself. But just what a wild one time. I mean, you were pretty much up front throughout the whole portion of the race at various times, maybe dropping back to maybe around 5th, 6th position there. But as a whole, pretty much in the thick of it for the whole race there. But then, man, those last couple of restarts and towards the end of the race, things got pretty hectic there at the end. I mean, just take us through. I mean, the few times you had to get to the outside, maybe pick up some friends there to try to get that third line working to get back to the front. And then ultimately able to put yourself in contention, in position to win this race. I mean, just take us through what you had to do here tonight.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. It was really about just restarting around your friends and being in the right spot. There were a couple times where I got pinned on the bottom and behind a couple damaged cars there and restarts, and it was, really scary trying to get somewhere where I felt like I could make some progress forward. And I hate it for Derrick and all the guys that I kind of tore up on the wreck before when I thought I was clear there and came down, and I don't know if he went a little bit lower than I did or if I pinched a little bit too much, and I'm not quite sure. I haven't had a chance to look at the replay yet to see. But he was fun to run with all night. We had made a lot of progress up there. But then I got a brand new car, and a bunch of other guys didn't have that option, so there was a lot of damaged stuff up there. And me and Zach were able to get around the outside before the carnage hit, and I think he got caught up in that a little bit. And that last restart, it was just like, all right, well, who around me's not that damaged? Okay, it looks like Robert's not that bad. It looks like Charles is pretty beat up. Keith's car looks okay, I guess. And then Eric was like, well, I'm in 5th, but my car's destroyed. So I shout outs to him for getting P2 with that thing. That was not what we had planned in the team speak when the whole thing started. So we're super duper thrilled that was able to work out that way. And but yeah, it's just got to find the friends where you can, and hope you can dodge the big ones. And we were lucky to dodge the last one.
I am still puzzled to this moment of how he finished P2.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's a great teammate to run with all the time. I run with him Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays, and seems like every night of the week I'm in a different team speak with him there, and I'm super glad that he's been able to run so well and get a lot of results there to show for it, because he had a P3 the other night. I think he's had like 2 P3s now, and now a P2, so maybe that means he's got a win coming up next week.
Yeah, he's definitely put himself in contention as well, as he was saying. I think it's probably one of the first wins for a modified on over the, like, not even at the finish line, but going through a restart with the whole front clip missing. So yeah, it was pretty impressive to see there. But I mean, again, a great result for you starting 3rd, getting the win. Like I said, just kind of being up front. Like I said, you had a few times where you're definitely in a tight spot at some times. They're kind of being pinned on the inside lane, and Daytona kind of being its own animal. It's tough to try to really get that second, third lane going if you get the opportunity to get up there. But yeah, you were completely pinned, so just had to bide your time and find the right time and place to do it. So awesome job tonight. So you didn't have to do 200 laps tonight, just a little over 75 this time. But before we let you go, though, definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that win this evening?
Oh, yeah, all the guys I ran with, Sebastian, Zach, I know he hasn't done a whole lot. Sebastian's been here a lot, but Zach hasn't done too many Area 51 races, so it's great to see that even if he didn't get quite the finish he deserved, that he was running up front and really hasn't missed a beat despite his few-month vacation he had there. And as we mentioned before, Eric, and then Dude Conrad had a great race going, too. It looked like he really had nailed the fuel strategy. He caught the cautions at the right time, and just got caught up in that last one. So shout outs to him. And he also is a Daytona 500 winner earlier this weekend. So shout outs to him. And then obviously you guys for putting on a great show. And obviously you just watch the Daytona 500, the real deal, all day. And you're like, all right, well, I'll still sit at the computer for a few hours and talk about you guys. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite a surprising win, but in the real race, but not a surprising win in the Area 51 race. You are a force to be reckoned with week in and week out there, brother. It's a hell of a job. Keep it going, man.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Yeah, congrats again, Peter. All right, that is our race winner in that number 26 of Peter DeBorgia. So it took us into overtime, Matt, but in the end, Peter able to grab the win. But definitely an eventful one here tonight. Let's say with the 7 yellows tonight set for the 21 laps, and like I said, just a little over 75. I think closer to 80 laps here tonight. But yeah, a little bit of everything once again. But some of these guys kept their cars clean or kept that fast pair in their pocket, able to make the most of it. Peter being the one of those to do so. Eric Laurie finding a way to do it with a destroyed car, and let's say William George, we mentioned as well, able to get back up there and have a chance at it as well. So a little bit of everything tonight, but. As always, these guys find a way to make this thing pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's always a battle of attrition. I'm going to say that word attrition. I'm going to say that every week. These guys race each other every week, and they know each other's tendencies. Sometimes there's risk, and sometimes there's reward at the end. But for the 26 of Peter, he's been running front all day. It paid off for him.
Yep, that it indeed did. So that's going to do it for us tonight, though, at Green White Checkered TV. So, Matt, as always, a pleasure. Appreciate you being up here with me. However, we're going to put you back to work in the car on Tuesday over with the Dark Horse Area 51 Indy Series. And then, of course,
I want to.
Of course, before then, though, Monday night Next Gen Series on Max Speed TV, so check those out as well. Like I said, for myself, we'll be back on Tuesday night with Steve broadcasting those Indy cars. So until then, hope you all have a wonderful evening. Hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. Until then, have a good night, stay safe, and take care until Tuesday. Take care, everyone.
Good night, everyone.